Hello, Beez Bladers, and welcome newcomers to the channel. I've got a special unboxing and disassembly for you guys today, and this is going to be in a series. We're going to have a few of these. It's a new company, Shieldon Knives, and we'll get all into it. I want to thank you to my subscribers and to my patrons on Patreon, and also all the channel members. If you guys want to see what perks are available, you can hit that join button. It won't join you, but it'll show you what options are available. And don't forget, there's always links in the description. And this particular knife, there'll be a link in the description with 20% off. So let's get in here and see what these are all about. So I was contacted by Shieldon Knives by Stephen Liu, and today I'm going to, for the unboxing, which is pretty much cutting tape, I'm using the Civivi Lumi, nice, sharp, and pointy. But Stephen Liu contacted me and said, hey, you know, we have some new knives out, and we were hoping you would check them out. And I was like, well, yeah. But there's no expectations. But then he also went on to explain that Shieldon had come out with some knives, I guess not too long ago, and they had made the mistake of gluing or solidifying all of the T6 screws. And people in the knife community complained because we don't like that. We want to be able to take our knives apart. So he said, we apologize at Shieldon Knives and we have redone everything and nothing is going to be Loctited to the point that you can't take them apart. So that's why we're going to disassemble this to make sure it's disassemblable. But Steven, he used to work for Kaiser, and now he is manufacturing his own brand. And here's the box. The item number on this is a 9049G1-G. The item is the Empoleon. It's the Django designer. Has D2 steel, G10 handle. The blade length is 3.54 inches or 90 millimeters. Total length 8.03 inches or 204 millimeters. The weight is 3.35 ounces. And the blade finish on this one is gray titanium coating. Fancy, fancy, fancy. So first of all, it comes in a pretty nice case. That's pretty nice. Give you guys a nice uppy closey look. You can clip that on your old belt ski if you want. All right, let's see what it looks like. Let's see what it looks like. I don't think this is a larger knife, but you can get these, let me see. You can get these on Amazon for $49.99, and if you use, I will put his 20% discount code, and this will be 40 bucks. This will run you $40. So here it is. Here it is. Okay, let's see what it looks like here. We have G10 scandals. Has some G10 handles, give you a little bit of feel-o-vision of the scales there. All right, okay, not too shabby. It's pretty sleek feeling knife. It doesn't feel too heavy. Pocket clip, pretty sturdy pocket clip. It's not deep carry, and it looks like we are only right side tip up carry. And let's see what the blade looks like here. Oh, okay. Very nice, very, very nice. Looks like it has a good edge on it. They list that they put a 15 to 20 degree edge on their blades, and that is a nice looking grind. Let's see if we can cut a piece of paper. See what it does to a piece of paper. Wow. Let's see if I can get way up in here. Ooh, yeah, it is sharp. Yeah, it's sharp. Yes, very nice. Very, very nice. All right, so let's run through the specs. I took the liberty of getting the measurements just now. That way we have accurate measurements. And I'm going to guess as far as weight, I'd say around the 3-ounce mark, maybe 3.3. Coming in at, ooh, I got pretty close, 3.15. So it's a nice lightweight knife, kind of a gentlemanly carry. But I'm going to run through the specs so you guys can get an idea what this new knife has to offer. Are you ready? Are you set? Okay, so total length is pretty much 8 inches. And you have a drop point blade style with D2 blade steel. And your total blade length is 3.5 inches. Your sharpened length is 3.36 inches. Your blade width is 3/4 of an inch, so 0.75. Your blade stock thickness is 0.116. So it's nice and thin, nice thin blade stock. And your thickness behind the edge ranged from 13 to 14 thousandths behind the edge, which is not too shabby. Very nice, very, very nice. Your handle material is G10. Pretty nice looking G10. It almost has that micarta look to it, which is pretty cool, pretty cool. Your handle length is 4.58 inches. Your handle width is 0.79 inches, and it's a 1/2 inch thick. 0.49 if you're being specific. And in the pivot are ceramic ball bearings, which we'll see here in a minute when I take it apart. And this is a liner lock. Your hardware is T8 in the pivot and T6 for the body screws and T6 over here all the way around. And this is a Django design. And let's get some size comparisons for you. All right, let's get a little backdrop for easy reference. Here it is against the Spyderco Manix 2. So the Manix 2 is a little bit wider, not much. Here's the Spyderco Tenacious. About the same. I mean, you do have a wider profile here at the pivot. That's going to be the pivot and your pocket clip are the widest parts. But if you're just coming up here and looking, it's a little thinner. Here's the CJRB Feldspar. So the Feldspar's got some beef on it. It's a little beefier. And here's a QSP Penguin. Real common knife, a lot of you have. So you can see, even counting, if I'm putting it down here equal, it's a little wider than QSP Penguin. And here's one more. Here's a Civivi Brazen. So you can see it's a regular width knife. There's nothing spectacular, skinny, or chunky about it, which is very nice, very, very nice. And I'm going to throw it up next to, I'm going to throw it up next to some common knives you guys might have, and line them up pivot to pivot. And let's see if you guys have one of these. And this will give you an idea for the size, and I think you're probably getting that already. So here's the Spyderco Tenacious up here, and here's the Spyderco Manix 2. You can see it's a full-size knife. All right, let me run through a couple more. Here's a CJRB Feldspar. I don't know why I like to say it like that. It's the Feldspar. And here's the Kubi Carve. You have the Kubi Carve. So see there? You have a nice full-size knife. But it has a thinner profile. It looks like, you know, it's kind of more gentlemanly. Really nice looking. That G10 is really nice looking. It almost has the flair of kind of looks like carbon fiber a little bit. Just the way it grabs the light. Here's the QSP Penguin. So I know just about everybody in the world has a Penguin, and if you don't, I'm really surprised. You'll probably end up getting one. So there's some size comparisons for you. So let's see what the deployment is like on this bad boy. How is the well, you know what? While we're at it, let's take a quick peek here. No, we don't have to take a quick peek. I was going to see if we could see the bearings, but we're going to see that when I take this bad boy apart. But how about our lockup? What kind of lockup we looking like here? I'd say about 35%, 35%. Let me get you guys in here so you can see. You can see there's a lot of it hidden until you lock it up. So it's pretty good, pretty healthy. And I can tell you right now that the pass-through is just right. Getting to that liner lock makes it comfortable, and it doesn't dig into my finger. Now this piece right here is not chamfered. The liner lock is not chamfered, so it is a little sharp. It's not cut you sharp, but it definitely will get a hold of your skin and help you. Oh, look at that. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Okay, let's get over here. Push button. Very nice. And it's drop shutty already. There's your push button. Oh my goodness. Couple drops of knife pivot lube, and this thing is going to be, holy cow. So here's your light switch. Very fast, nice and quick. Very nice, very nice. You can do the old flick your bic. Ooh, this is a nice gentlemanly looking knife. Now, that's pretty much your only deployment. I can't get my fingers in there to pull it out. That's going to be it. You can see the blade almost disappears in the handles. So that's pretty nice. But it's a pretty nice looking blade. It looks like it might have just the slightest recurve right here. Maybe just a little bit. You can see it. And as far as sharpening choil, the sharpening choil, it looks like we're right at the bottom of the plunge grind. So it's going to be really difficult to sharpen this. You can see right there, the sharpened edge stops at the plunge grind. So it's too bad they don't have a bigger plunge grind, or not a plunge grind, but a bigger sharpening choil. That way you don't create a smile when you sharpen it. So that might be something they want to consider. They are open to all criticism. They want to get feedback, and they want to improve. So, hey, that's my kind of knife company. You know, that's a good start when they say, hey, please be critical. Tell us, you know, what do we need to change? That's the first thing I would do, is put a sharpening choil in there so you don't have a big old smile when you sharpen it. And you can see there, it's the Empoleon by Django. Very nice, very, very nice. And your model number is 9049. Is that C1-G? But boy, it is smooth. I got to tell you, it is smooth. It's pretty smooth. Wow. As far as fidget factor, I mean, it's fidgetable. It doesn't have multiple means of deployment, so the fidget factor for me, for the Beez Blades fidget factor, would be like 1B, a little low. Let's see what our detent is. Detent doesn't seem to be too bad. I'm just going to give it a little pressure. Okay, of course you can fail it. You can fail pretty much any flipper tab knife, but just with the slightest amount of pressure, it locks up. So it's very comfortable. There's nothing rough there. Yeah, I could fidget with this. I could fidget with it all day. No problem. Look how smooth that is. Gosh, it's drop shutty. Just so you know, this knife is very smooth. Okay, here's the ergos. From my hand, from here to here is 4 inches. From here to here is 3.5. And then from here to here is 7.25. So here's what it looks like in my hand. All right, let's see what it looks like here. Okay, pretty comfortable. All right. If I'm pushing through something, see, that's the nice thing you get about these neutral ergos is you're not going to get all these weird finger spots. So it's comfortable. Nothing's biting me. There's no jimping. There's no jimping anywhere to be seen. And do we have any? Let's see if we have any. Yeah, do have some. What do you call that? We do have some milling. So have some milling in the liner, which is helping it get down to, what was it, just over 3 ounces. So that helps a lot with your weight. And these liners are really nice. They're not sharp. They're nice and even. They're not inset. But I prefer on a G10 handle for my liners not to be inset, because when they are, then the G10 is sharp on the inside. So this makes it feel very smooth. The ergos feel very nice. You can see there for cutting. You could do some utility cutting. It's pretty comfortable. Overall, it's pretty comfortable. So it has some fidget factor. The ergos are good. I like the ergos. I don't have anything to complain about there. That pocket clip's not intrusive. And I'll show you what it looks like going in and out of the pocket. So there's what it looks like going in and out of the pocket. You can see you have plenty of sticking out, so you can grab the knife out of your pocket. It's not a deep pocket carry. So there's that, guys. Now let's get into disassembling this bad boy. Okay, guys, here we go. This is pretty much what I use for my disassembly. I know everyone's a little different, and you may be brand new to the community and you're not familiar with it. So I have a fancy CRKT, it's fancy for me, a bit driver, and then I have another Weehaw bit driver, and then I have a Weehaw bit set. There's links down in the description if you want to get you a bit set and a driver, but I'm going to go ahead and take this apart. I also have pieces of their PPU cleaning patches for firearms, and you can use these with a little bit of alcohol on them to clean when you get to the inside. So I already know that this is going to be a T6 and a T8 to disassemble this bad boy. So we'll get in here and see what she looks like. And I use this sometimes if I have to do a little prying and I don't want to injure the knife. So let's see if it comes apart like they said it would. Okay, so we're spinning. We have a spinning pivot. Let's see if I can put enough pressure on it. Otherwise, I'll have to get another T8 to get it loose. That's a bummer right there. Yep, I'm going to need another T8. So let me grab another T8. All right, had to go get another T8 because when it's like that and you have a spinning pivot, you have to put one on both sides to get it to loosen up, which that is not, I don't enjoy when I have to do that. I prefer the pivot be D-shaped on the inside, and that way I don't have to do that. Just makes it a little less enjoyable, a little more work for me. So here's our pivot screw. And do we have any Loctite on there? Looks like it might have been just a tad bit. I don't know if there was any on there or not. There might not have been. I know that their concern was that people weren't able to take them apart and people were complaining. So they're like, hey, all right, we want you to be able to disassemble your knife. Now, me personally, I like to put the same screws in the same hole. So I'll set them up here in a row how I took them off. Just so I put the same screw in the same hole, because I am no pro. I don't have any claims. I don't claim to be anything special when it comes to taking apart knives. So the inside of this is very clean. Wow. I mean, it is clean. Very impressive indeed. Okay, so I mean, it doesn't look like it really needs cleaned at all. So here's an up closey. You see the inside is pretty darn clean. There's a little bit of lube in there. There's your ceramic ball bearing. And it is pretty clean. I don't even see where it needs really much cleaning. I'm going to go ahead and clean it off anyway to show you guys the process. There might be a little bit of stuff that comes off. You can see right here. But wow, okay, I'm impressed. It's pretty darn clean. Very impressive. Get that. Where'd it go? There it is. Wow. So there's not much to it. I don't see any reason to do a whole lot of craziness to this. I'm not going to take the other scale off. I get a little bit of alcohol, and the cloth, whatever cloth I use, I make sure it's not a cloth that has a bunch of dust and lint and everything on it. And use alcohol because it dries up, cleans it off really nice, dries it up. So there's that. Okay, pretty nice, pretty nice. But yeah, this one doesn't have a lot of gunk to clean out. Clean off my little ceramic ball bearings there. Well, that's pretty cool. I mean, sometimes when you take a knife apart from the factory, it will be gunked up and you're wondering, why did they send a knife this gunked up? I mean, you know, it was a part at one point. Do they just put it together, you know, with a bunch of gunk all over it? But this one is pretty darn clean. It's one of the cleaner knives I see. I mean, I don't care what company it is. You can get one and it feels really rough and it's all has that Rice Krispie crunch action. And you take it apart and clean it up, and then everything is fine and dandy. And this one is, man, it's pretty darn clean, which is very nice, very nice. There's your detent hole. It's where the detent ball goes. And that's your detent ball right there. So not a whole lot of cleaning up to do, which I appreciate that very much. And you can see here we have an internal stop pin. That's what that guy right there is. Okay, in case you didn't know. So yeah, that's pretty darn simple. Now I'm just going to put a little bit of lube on it. What I have here is, it looks like this. It's KPL Knife Pivot Lube, and there's 10% off discount code in the description of this video. And I just use a tiny little bit. And this particular bottle doesn't cooperate with me well. But I just put a couple drops on there. And what I like to do is I get one of these little cleaning deals that you can get from KPL, and I spread it around just inside here. Okay, so there's that. And then on this, really, if you want a close-up, there is the ceramic ball bearings. If you wanted to get a good close-uppy of that, I'll put the ceramic ball bearings in there. And now I'll just put a little bit of KPL, just a little drop on both sides. And this is just me. This is what I like to do. Different people do different things. I like to spread it around with this little doodad. I forget what you call this. You can get these at KPL. They're nice for cleaning your knives out without having to take them apart. But it's real easy to use too much pivot lube. Definitely, because a little dab will do you. All right, so making rookie mistakes on camera. Let me put her back together for you here. So here's our pivot. We're going to put the pivot up through, and then you're putting this on this side, and I've already put some KPL knife pivot lube on there. And you can see I've put a little bit of lube on both sides, probably too much. Just a little bit too much. It's easy to go overboard with the KPL. I mean, one drop goes a long way. It is good stuff. I'm trying not to make a mess here of things. So there's this side. I have it on there. Let's put this back on here. So get it all lined up. And how does it line up? Looks like it's going to line up. Look at that. It's already trying to center itself perfect. Okay, this is a good sign. This is a good sign. So if you're not an expert like me, and I never claim to be an expert on anything in the knife world, you guys already know this. I'm taking you down the journey with me. I do take knives apart. However, taking a knife apart and doing maintenance on a knife on a camera, reaching around a tripod, is a whole different ball game. I'll definitely have to come up with a little better setup. But I put my T8. I put the T8 in the pivot just to hold it there. And then I just get my T6s started. So I'll just get that started, just so it's where it's supposed to be. I tell you what, this CRKT driver is awesome. It is awesome. It just makes being able to do this is just awesome. And I'm going to get me a second one. So I'm going to push it all together, make sure everything feels like it's lining up well, that I tighten the pivot. And then this one, the pivot's spinning, so I'm putting pressure with my finger over here. But of course, I'm going to have to put another T8 on this side, line it up, and then tighten it up. Just a little bit of tighten action. You can see we're tightening it up. There we go. So that's totally tight. So I start from there. How's our centering? Look at that. It's dead center. How is that? I mean, you can't, that's hard to beat right there. Getting it to center up right away. So that, in effect, has tightened these guys that were loose, right? So I'm going to put the T6 in here and tighten them, and then we'll see what adjustments might need made. So yeah, our T6s are tight. Oh, there we go. That's tightened up. That's tightened up. You don't want to over torque these, just as enough to tighten it with a couple fingers and you'll be good. So did I tighten it way too much? Oh, maybe not. Let's clean this off. Clean this off a little bit. And let's back out here. And what you might want to do after you've put it back together is see how the action is. Oh man. See how it feels? Rock solid. There's no blade play or lock rock or anything. It's rock solid. And it's drop shutting. It's smoother than it was before. Can you guys hear this? Wow. So there you go. Tell me what you guys think about it. Now you know what the inside of it looks like, and I'll have to come up with a better setup so I'm not reaching around the tripod and fumbling over everything and upside down. But it's a pretty cool knife. I mean, do I have any complaints? I wish it had a sharpening choil. Other than that, it's comfortable. The ergos are really good on it. I'm not feeling any hot spots. It's a comfortable knife. It's an attractive looking knife. Look at that. I mean, it's pretty nice. Just look at it. Would you look at it? So let me know what you guys think. Give me a full report in the description. Tell me if you're interested in this knife. I mean, you know, after the discount for the price, I mean, it's pretty darn good. 40 bucks after the 20% off from using Steven's discount, you know, on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description. But thanks guys for stopping by and making it through this disassembly with me. And remember to live life in the present. Keep a Band-Aid handy, and don't cut yourself.